How's it going, everybody? I want to share with you the Prophets of Doom Ableton Live Pack. It's a collection of 25 Ableton Live instrument racks made with samples from the all-new Sequential Circuits Prophet 6 Analog Synthesizer. The Prophet 6 is really amazing. It's probably my favorite synthesizer I have right now, and it just gets some great tones from modern to very vintage and old-style synthesis. It sampled really well into Ableton Live, and I was able to create 25 really cool instruments with it. So let's show you what we got here. I'm going to stop the music. The best way to add this to your library is to go into Places and click Add Folder and select the pack right here. I got the Prophet of Doom pack. Click Open. And now it's right there in my Places whenever I want to use it. There's 25 presets for Live 9.2 in the sampler and the simpler. And I've also got 9.5 presets. Now what's cool about these is you get access to the new filters inside of the simpler device. And these sound great, especially on this old analog synth. So those are the ones I'm going to be working with in this little demonstration. So all the music you just heard was made with the Prophet 6 Prophets of Doom pack, except for the drums. Our first little sound here is a pad, which you heard. It's kind of fading in. I've got at the very end of it a little auto filter that's moving around to give us some filter movement. The next sound, you're actually hearing kind of like two sounds going on here. We've got some pad chord and also some arpeggiated stuff. And if we look inside these particular instruments, we've got this double arpeggiator, which allows you to kind of, it's got two chains of arpeggiators. And when you turn the first one, you start getting all these arpeggiated sounds, and nothing is happening yet on the second arpeggiated track until we turn this. So we can get like double layers of arpeggiated action going on. We can play with the gate of the arpeggiator, the octaves. Really pretty cool. And when you turn ARP2 all the way down, you get chords underneath those arpeggiators. And that's kind of what I had set up here for this track here. Moving along, just to show you something else here. I've got a bass track. I'm using this for bass, but you can also play some chords back. You'll see I've got the filter really low. We can open that up, and it gets pretty gritty and dirty. A lot of that has to do with the new filters, but also just the sound of the synth is great. Inside each one of these racks now, we've got the control over the filter frequency, the filter type, the resonance, and so on. We've also got control over the attack, sustain, and release, so we can make all kinds of different sounds just by sculpting it over time, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna move back over here to this particular sound. Arpeggiated sound. And what I also want to show you here is that we've also got some audio effect racks in here. So right now I've got this chorus delay phasing. We can turn up the percentage of the chorus to give a kind of nice lush sound. We've got control over the rate, amounts, and feedback. So things start getting a little interesting as you start turning it up. You get kind of almost that like feel of an analog synth that's not staying in tune so well. We've got some delay. We can play with the time on that delay. Turn it off if we like. And the filter of the delay. And also what I've got here is a rhythmic phaser. Now I'm just going to go back to our double arpeggiator and just turn off the arpeggiator so we just get these chords so that we can hear this rhythmic phasing in action. These are the chords on their own. And if I put on the rhythmic phasing, you get some cool, interesting movement on the sound, which I think is pretty fun. Next up, in the next rack, I've got this old noise rack. And what this is going to allow you to do is give your sound kind of an old style. So we can give it some tube distortion. It's like an overdriven tube right there. We can add some hiss. Hear that? We can adjust the frequency of that hiss. So almost as if like there's a little noise on the oscillator, or maybe some wire noise, even if you wanted to do that. We've got a saturated circuit control, again, to give us a little more grit. Melt amount is going to play around with the pitch of the sound. So we can play with how much the pitch moves and how fast it moves. If you get it something kind of subtle like this, you get a bit of like an analog detuned synth. Glitch chop allows you to sort of chop up your sound a little bit and play with the rate it gets chopped at. And this knob over here, drop chop, corresponds with the pitch of those chops. So you can have some fun doing that, playing around with the sound there. That's how most of these are organized. I'll just take you through a couple different sounds here, a couple different instruments. I'm going to create a new MIDI track, and we'll just listen to a few of these sounds so you get an idea of what you're getting here. That's the calculations. We've got a distant message. Pretty cool sound there. Divine Contact. What I want you to notice about like a lot of these sounds is they're evolving over time. There's a lot of modulation on the original samples. So this one starts out pretty low, but then a higher pitch starts fading in. You'll hear that on this sound too. A lot of movement on those samples, and this is the filter of the Prophet opening. I've got some grit on this sound. Get some interesting stuff going on there. I think we had that in the Humanity's Hope we'll hear. And that's about, a gist of what you're going to get here. A lot of different sounds, like I said, 25 presets. We got the Ableton Live 9.5 edition that make use of the new filters inside of Live, which are really, really cool. It really takes this pack to a new level. And if you haven't yet updated, we've got ones that'll work for other versions of 9. It was made in 9.2, but it should work with 9 and above. So I hope you enjoyed that. We'll put our music back on and have it take us out. Thanks a lot, and please check out the pack, The Prophets of Doom. Thank you.